Well, I want y'all to listen to this video here because Clyburn, he's going to be on one, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we got to talk about Clyburn tonight. Let's go ahead and check this out.
You stopped it and enabled, I think some would argue.
Well, when the white vote turned out 71% 2 years ago, and the black vote turned out 59%, you tell me whose fault that is.
I guess
only 59% of African Americans went to the polls 2 years ago.
It's tough for me personally to blame black voters for the last election more than it is to blame President Joe Biden.
That's the fact. It wasn't Joe Biden on the ticket. It was Kamala Harris on the ticket.
For 107 days after he decided
to on the ticket.
I guess I just wanted to see if there was a clear political lesson you took from that moment and whether you think something applies in this kind of larger democratic rethink after. But I hear you. You're saying that you think it was a media problem. It was a branding problem. It was a candidate problem?
I didn't say that. The media had nothing to do with that 59%. If that 59% had been 69%, she would have won.
I guess, so is the argument that black people let Kamala Harris down?
In many instances, absolutely. If you don't show up to vote, what are you doing?
I'll just hear Clyburn. Clyburn sit up here and gonna blame black voters for this woman not winning. And I know we talked about this before. I'm like, Clyburn, first of all, you are in second year of Trump's term, midterms about to come up. Why are you even discussing the 2024 election? The bottom line, Clyburn, is that she didn't win. Black people chose the couch, and that's why he's the president. And also, not just black people, y'all invested heavy into the Latino community during the Biden administration, and they didn't show up for you to vote. So I never want to hear about black people because let me tell you something. You would have had 100%, maybe even 95% black voter turnout if you'd invested the same amount of resources and time into FBAs like you did all those people who's immigrating here. I can't even say you were doing it for Hispanic Americans. You were doing it for those who's coming from all these different countries. You didn't do America first. You sure didn't do black Americans first. So if you don't do nothing for us, you can't expect us to show up. If you let the well run dry, you can't go get a bucket of water out of it. You chose to do that. Or your party at least chose to do that. Clyburn, we not listening to that crap, bro. We not. But while we talking about you, why don't you go retire? Why don't you go home to your family and let a young brother or sister get in that seat out of South Carolina? You know, like, what are you doing up there? We have all these people out in Congress, and they do need age limits and term limits. And that's what they're afraid of. They know when the younger people take over, it's going to be age limits and term limits. It needs to be. It definitely needs to be. My opinion, the Congress, it don't matter who they are, should have the same amount of term like the president. They can serve 2 4-year terms and they out. And that way you don't have all these conflicting elections and every 2 years in an election. That gets annoying. Let's just have every 4 years, we have president, Congress, everything, every 4 years. 2 4-year terms, they out. Supreme Court, you do 1 10-year term, you're out. That's it. Nobody have forever jobs because they make you out of touch when you have a forever job. Especially those in that Congress. But them days of blaming the FBA, it's y'all fault or whatever. Well, keep blaming us. And if y'all don't do nothing for us, we're not going to show up again. And if you don't do nothing for us then, we're not going to show up again and again and again and again until you get tired. Because we're not tired choosing our couch. We're not tired at all. Our couches are very comfortable. The fact is, people like you, sir, worry about your seat. We don't care about your seat. Forget your seat. You ain't done nothing for black folks as a whole in that seat. That's my thing. You worry about all these congressional black caucus seats going to be in jeopardy because of the Supreme Court decision. So what? What did they do for us in those seats? Black Americans not carrying this country on our back. And if we're going to carry the country on our back, well, you know what? Everybody else get out the way. Let FBAs run this country then. If we got to carry it on our back then. We need to be all the people in Congress. We need to be the president. We need to be all everybody that works on the president's administration. We need to be all the federal judges. We need to be all the Supreme Court judges. We need to be all those things. If you want us to carry the country on our back, we're supposed to be the mule. We're supposed to carry everything on our back while other groups benefit? Hell no. Other groups are in this country. They want to benefit. They get they behind registered. Get out the vote too. Not choosing the couch. When I looked at the numbers, the Hispanic community chose the couch more than we did. But you don't talk about them sitting out the election. They had more to lose in that election than black people. They should have been out the one voting 95, 100% for Kamala Harris. And they did not. You know why? Because half of them think they're white. And they find out real quick, oh, no, you're not white. I know you want to be white, but you're not. And the real white folks showing you. And that's good. I love, listen, white America, you keep giving these other groups a wake-up call. I support you when you do that. You let them know who the real white people is. Let them know. Because some of these other groups have gotten beside themselves. They thinking they you. So now you having to start pulling rank. And that's okay. I'm glad you're pulling rank on them. You've been needing to do that. Pull your rank. So you can make us right about everything we ever said. These people come over here and become an op. I'm like, we don't need no ops over here. We got enough of that. That's people who are citizens. We don't need people being imported to be an op too. So Clyburn, he can get on with that. All that blaming black people, that doesn't move the needle at all. We don't care. Blame us all you want. If Tallarico loses in Texas, black people, you didn't show up. We sure didn't. If I'm just saying, if Ken Paxton wins, good. I'm saying not because I support him or Republicans, because I don't. But in other words, if you don't want to do right by black people, you will lose. And we need to keep doing that until you say, okay, all right, black people, we got to give you what you want now because we can't not be losing too many more elections. It's not hard to do something for black people. There's just a lot of you don't want to do it. And that, like I said, once again, that's okay. You just keep losing elections, and then we'll just force you to do it. And forcing you to do it is actually a lot better for us because at least we get respect out of that one. Look, gone are the days, well, I know they're not perfect, but they're better than the Republicans. That don't work. That don't work. We don't care about that. We're not scared of that. We got Republicans in office. Some of us live in Republican states, and we're doing just fine. A lot of us are successful. A lot of us are educated. A lot of us are living a good life in these so-called Republican states. So you can't scare us by, ooh, the Republicans going to get you. No. Look at my brothers and sisters in Atlanta. Georgia is a Republican state. Maybe Fulton County isn't. But Georgia is a Republican state. Look how successful black people are. How many black people have moved and flocked to Atlanta? A red state. How many black people have flooded Houston? A whole lot. A red state. And doing very well in these red states. So you can't really scare us with that. The Republicans gonna get you stuff. You can't scare us with that. They don't work anymore. Propaganda y'all spewing don't work anymore. Because beyond with you know what really breaks y'all propaganda real good? AI. If a person using AI, boy, that propaganda get broke down quick. Everyone say, oh, they lying. Oh, it's this, that. I didn't know that. So we have more access to tools of fact checking and research now than we ever did. And I'm so glad we have that as black people, or just Americans in general. I'm so glad that we have that. But yeah, Clyburn, he mad about Kamala. Man, please. You better be worrying about 2028 and see who y'all going to choose to run. Don't run AOC because that's she going to lose. Bernie Sanders, no, he's geriatric, no. Gavin Newsom, no. That stunt he pulled the California Reparations Commission, not him. I would not be in support of him. He would have to pull off the biggest Hail Mary before he got out of office in California to change that. And he not trying to do it. So who y'all gonna have run? What, Wes Moore? I think that's probably the only one y'all probably would maybe can run is Wes Moore at this point. If y'all gonna convince him or not. But who gonna run for y'all? And just because, let's say even if you do select Wes Moore as your guy, there's no guarantee he'll get the black vote. Because black people not voting on, oh, he look like me, I'm going to vote for him. Nope, that don't work no more. We learned that from Obama. Just because somebody black, they got to bring tangibles too. Actually, it's more pressure on them to bring tangibles than it would be even a white person. So that's that. So yeah, Clyburn, you know, that guilt trip and shaming tactics, that's over, buddy. You better go figure out some way to give us some